Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tana. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I have been her slave all day long.
I know. I love this time of year because I actually get a slave. It's great.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, we wanted to celebrate with you, and we've had a really good day. When we got up this morning, our daughter, who's 19, acted like she was a cheerleader and came in screaming and cheering.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So,
And then
you're a happy girl.
Yep, it's been a good day. So much fun.
So we wanted to just talk a little bit about making love last. And we have been incredibly blessed. Now, both of us had been in bad relationships. I mean, relationships that didn't work
divorce
for us. And in large part because it didn't fit. Mm-hmm. I talk to my patients all the time. You have to be with someone that fits. You could fit probably with a lot of people. There's a whole bunch of people you didn't fit with.
Right.
And our pickers were not awesome.
You know, sometimes you need some maturing, you need some therapy, you need whatever it is you need. Heal the trauma from the past. I think that, for me, that was the big one.
Making love last is the first thing you have to do is go through your own dirty laundry. And you often say I gave you 10 sessions of EMDR early in our relationship.
Do you know why I say that? Because you gave me 10 sessions of EMDR. I say that because you gave me 10 sessions of EMDR.
And why did I do that?
Well, because you must have thought I was pretty messed up. My first gift from him was 10 sessions of EMDR.
It's not your first gift. The first gift was a brain scan.
Yeah. And then the second one was EMDR. So what does that tell you?
Well, I'm sorry. Anybody
he saw the little
with...
triangle pattern in my scan, and he's like, oh. He's like, you've had some emotional trauma. And I'm like, oh, don't psychoanalyze me.
She goes, whoa, you get a slave.
I do. I get a slave, yeah. It's great.
We actually like having birthday months.
Yeah.
Like in July, when my birthday, I'm like, I think I should have a birthday month. The older you get, you should expand the celebration because they may not come around again. But
really? You're going to say that on my birthday?
All right. So how did we make love last? We committed to each other when you finally decided to do that. It took a while. We are focused on what we want. This is really important. We have goals for our relationship, and it's about kindness and caring and support and passion. And so we don't generally sweat the small stuff.
No. And you know, one thing though I do want to say, because a lot of people have this idea that it's like, well, they've got this perfect relationship, or, well, of course, because, you know, they've got this skill or whatever. It's not perfect. It hasn't been perfect. Okay. I mean, we're really lucky.
What do you mean?
So we are really lucky. It's been amazing. But we, just like all couples and everybody, there are phases. There are phases in life, and, you know, things come and things happen, and, you know, you have family members that pass away. You've got empty nest syndrome. I mean, there are normal life phases, even now, because, you know, being married to someone that is in the public eye, it's challenging at times, right? So there are things that happen in your life. It's not like it's just like, oh, nothing ever happens and it's easy to just be, you know, happy because we have no challenges. That's not the case. But we learn how to work through those things together. And that's the trick.
Should we talk about the challenges?
I just did. I think I just did.
She's so beautiful. That is true.
I see.
It starts with what you want. And it starts with having a healthy brain. so often relationships go south when people are not taking care of their brains, when they're smoking pot, when they're using alcohol. I can't tell you how much alcohol devastates people's lives. And then I read the first story of alcohol in the Bible is actually in the book of Genesis in chapter 9, where Noah is a good person. Noah, like, God was fed up. It's like, everybody's awful. I'm having a flood. I'm killing everybody except Noah and his family. So they build an ark, right? Everybody knows the story. And after the waters recede, he plants a vineyard. And then he gets drunk. And then he's found naked on the beach. And he's embarrassed.
Why are we pointing fingers at Noah right now?
There's a point to this. It's alcohol. That alcohol caused him to get drunk, to be naked. And when he was found, he was embarrassed. And he cursed one of his children and his children's children. So, and I know some of you can relate to this, that alcohol can devastate generations of people. And we're raising our nieces in large part because of alcohol. And anyways, we're on making love last.
I was going to say, because now we're on this like whole other topic, and people often ask us if they're like, well, do you guys ever have any problems with your kids? Are they perfect? Heck no, they're not perfect. So let me just those of you who think, oh, they've got this perfect, again, we don't have this perfect family. We don't have these perfect kids. We're a normal family. I don't even think we're normal. But we are
really going far.
we're definitely not normal. But we have challenges like anybody else, right? We have had challenges with kids drinking, with kids vaping, with kids, doing all kinds of stuff, but it's how we handle it.
Who is drinking?
We've had a couple of them. Yeah. It's just the way it is. They're kids. And so you have to learn, it's how you handle it. It's how you communicate with them. It's how you, address it that makes the difference. Right. So I think that's where maybe we are, we have some skill and we've learned skill over time. We didn't just start out with it. So you can learn. Yeah. Yeah. And so for me, one of the most important things is the honesty, because if I don't have connection, I don't have influence. For some people, it's all about the rules. They have to follow the rules, and that is the only thing that matters. For me, it's I need you to not lie to me. I'd rather be open and we can talk, and then I have influence. And so everyone's different. But yeah.
So we've been together 17 years. I see some of the comments. We've been married 14 years, and it's just the best. But in addition to that, I've been treating people for 40 years. And I think the number one thing is intention. It's consistent intention over
I agree.
time.
But someone said, do you think mouth taping helps to make a marriage last?
If someone has low frontal lobe function.
For sure, mouth taping helps.
Well, and mouth taping also helps for people who snore.
Although they may not wake up in the morning, so yeah.
No, that's when you put a pillow.
Oh, Daniel, stop already. Oh God.
All right, so we have intention. Kill the alcohol, because people just behave better. Remember Noah. And brain health. What else?
Communication.
Affection, knowing your partner's love language, whether it's physical touch or active service. I think that's really important. And having the same goals is just critical. Not always agreeing on the kitchen table.
You're going to get personal now.
This whole thing is personal.
We're trying to pick furniture and we cannot agree on the kitchen table. So, yeah. But we have a rule that we're just not going to buy something until we both agree on it. So we don't have a kitchen table. So there you go.
But we do have a Christmas tree behind us.
Yeah. So there you go. So,
someone says, I love your Brain MD omega-3s.
Awesome.
Yeah, me too. We actually have a new vegan omega-3 that's
actually
extremely
really good. Yeah.
special.
Yeah. High quality. It's really good.
So happy birthday, my love.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
I don't know how Noah got involved in all of this.
Sometimes you do this free associating thing that's just very funny. So, yeah. So a lot to
Generational trauma. Oh my goodness,
I talk a lot about that.
Important.
So my book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child, we talk a lot about that. I'm very, very fascinated by ACE scores, or adverse childhood experiences. You can take, you can go online, you can Google ACE score and take a quiz and see what your ACE score is. But it's really important to know that. So generational trauma is important to know. But it doesn't mean you're stuck, right? You can't change the past, but you can definitely change the trajectory of where your health is going in the future by understanding your ACE score and doing something about it. So
they're having, on my page, they're having a discussion about Jesus and water into wine. I'm sure if Jesus made it, it was awesome. The problem is it's mostly not awesome. And you're made to think if you don't drink, there's something the matter with you. But the fact is, if you drink, you're drinking a disinfectant, and you got to really ask yourself.
So
that.
I think one of the things is, I heard that podcast with you. So he doesn't drink at all, ever. I occasionally will have a glass of wine, but a lot less now because of a podcast that I heard. So, even as a nurse, you don't always know all the details. And I heard Dr. Huberman's, one of his podcasts, and on the true toxicity of alcohol. And I'm like, oh, maybe the 2 times a week isn't as good as, it's if your body has a chance to detox it and you're really, truly not drinking very much, then it's not that bad. The problem, because you give your body a chance to detox, the problem is there's nothing good about it. People keep thinking there's something good about it. There's nothing good in it.
There's nothing.
There's nothing good.
There's
Make no mistake,
nothing.
there's nothing positive about it. But the problem where it comes in, people are like, well, what if I have a glass of wine now and then? Well, that probably isn't a big deal, right? Most people can't do that. Most people that drink either daily, or they drink pretty often, or they don't have just one. So I think that's where the biggest problem is, because we get a lot of pushback on this.
So I did a Scan My Brain series yesterday with Luke Cook, the Australian actor, and his brain was so not healthy. And I think it was a really important wake-up call to not drink. And what I often do with patients is like, okay, what's the benefit? Relaxation. But you heard in Huberman's podcast, you're relaxed in the moment, but 24 hours later, you're in withdrawal and you don't really know it. So you drink again because it relaxes you, but it's really preventing the withdrawal. And that can develop tolerance over time.
I think one of the big things that got to me was that it increases dopamine and serotonin, but then drops them afterwards. And then that's why you end up wanting more. It's one of the reasons you want more.
So you have this level of serotonin and dopamine. Alcohol spikes them, but then drops them below
baseline. Yeah.
Your baseline level. Somebody asked about Happy Saffron 3. Doesn't matter. Take them all at once. That way you won't forget them. Mm-hmm. People like the way we look at each other. We look at each other like this a lot. Now, sometimes not quite so nice, but most of the time.
We try to hide that from each other. No, we actually don't. We actually are pretty clear with each other when we're not happy. So.
And then you'll come to your senses and you'll be happy again. Respect. Respect is so important. And when if we're at a party or we're out and someone says something the other person doesn't like, virtually always we'll go, I didn't like when you said that. Now, we'll say it in a kind way.
And not embarrass the other person.
And we won't embarrass each other. But part of both of us know we'll call each other out on it.
But you have to understand, like, it's easy for most people, they get defensive if their partner does that. It's like, well, I was just kidding. Like, relax. You're being defensive as opposed to, what's my goal? Was my goal to embarrass my partner? And if it wasn't, then it's just like, oh, well, I wasn't trying. Don't be defensive. Think about it for a minute. Take it in. It's like, my goal was never to embarrass you. It's never to embarrass you. So if my goal isn't to embarrass you, then why would I say that again? I'm sorry, I'll never say that again. Like, why does it matter? Just stop for a second and don't, you just don't need to be defensive. Just think about what they're saying for a second. And it doesn't matter if you necessarily agree with it. If they didn't like it, just don't do it. So, yeah.
I want to talk for a minute about this concept. So between us, we have 6
He
children.
goes, someone said, woman, go by the kitchen table.
What is it?
Someone said, woman, go by the kitchen table.
Yeah, no. No. So many of my friends and family go, just let her have the table she wants. I'm like, no, because then it snowballs into...
Oh, is that what it is?
You never have anything you want. No. No, I want to talk for a minute about this concept. Many people have the idea you are only as happy as your unhappiest child. And
that's an idea. That's an interesting...
I want to push back on that because as you raise children, they have their own choices in who they marry, in the activities they engage in. And I love our 6 children. I am not going to put my self-esteem and attach it to how they're doing.
Someone asked about our age difference. It's not actually that much.
How old do they think I am? Oh my God. What is it, 14 years?
Yeah. I mean...
But I didn't meet you when you were 4.
No, people think, right. For some reason, yeah. So, yeah.
Anyways, I want to just push back on that idea. We really protect our relationships. We support our kids as we can without making them entitled. That's our goal. But I don't want you to tie your self-esteem to their moment-by-moment feelings. That's not good. It's not healthy. And my mom taught me something really important. And I was a little kid. And I knew my mom liked my dad way more than she liked us. And she said it. She said, when you're gone, he's still going to be here. And there's a level of security in that, because if you ignore your partner so that you can take care of the children end up suffering with that. Making your relationship primary, I think, is really
And that's
important.
not always easy for moms. So yeah, it's just not always easy. And I will tell you, it's part of why moms have such a I think we're hardwired that way. We're biologically hardwired. It's like you have to protect that baby, and that just continues on even when they're not babies. But we get that attachment is just so intensely strong. But
you can see how that'll blow up a relationship.
Well, it's also, though, part of why we experience such wicked empty nest syndrome. Why, when dads are okay, they miss their kids, but they're okay, and when kids leave, moms fall apart.
It's not always. Sometimes it's dads that fall apart. I've seen that in my practice.
But more often than not, it's moms. I mean, if you even my page, I look at it and it's like they're just a mess. They're a mess.
You were a mess.
I was a mess, and I didn't think I would be. I thought I like did the work ahead of time, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to prepare myself.
Not at all.
Not at all. And a part of that, though, is because when you do that, you wrap up so much of your sense of purpose in it. And so making sure that you're taking care of yourself and your relationship so that not all of your purpose is in that. And let's face it, I mean, things can happen and it's just the most awful thing ever. One of my dearest friends, it's happened to a couple of my friends actually, whose kids were taken from them way too young. And you have to find a way to have that sense of purpose still to go on. And so.
And the child was taken because of
alcohol.
Yeah. So this is a celebration today without alcohol, celebrating Tana's birthday. I don't know why we talk so much about alcohol.
Because for some reason you are on that. I think you're doing a book or you're doing something, and you have been literally nonstop on the alcohol thing.
Oh no, 2 patients today. Benefits.
But you're not normally that on the alcohol thing. I think you're doing this book or something because you're just like on the alcohol thing. So
I watched a World Series game. There were 30 commercials for the same beer. And I'm like, they're drowning us in messaging that fun equals alcohol. And we have an event next week. So thank you, those that stuck around for this half hour. We have a very special event at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, December 7th. There's not going to be alcohol, but there's going to be great food.
And mocktails.
Incredible dessert, gluten-free, dairy-free, corn-free, but amazing dessert. And the event is called The End of Mental Illness, where we're going to talk about how you can have a better brain and a better life and help Tana and I completely transform psychiatry from a pharmaceutical-driven specialty to a brain health specialty. If you're not in California and you can't attend, there's still seats you can get. You can watch the live stream. And so just go to changeyourbrain.org and you can sign up for it. We have so many fun people coming.
Oh, we do. It's going to be really great.
Jenny Garth from 90210, Carrie Ananaba from Dancing with the Stars, Lisa Gibbons, Troy Gloss, the famous California Angel, World Series MVP. So many people looking forward to meeting you. That's what I heard. Aww. Anyways, happy birthday to Tana. Thanks for being with us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Take care, everybody.